Hi, welcome to City Country 6 Podcast. This is where you get to hear inside conversations between city and country about life, kids, womanhood, culture, black southern things. Eavesdrop in on our phone conversations to laugh, cry, amen, disagree, and agree with your bi-weekly dose of what did I just listen to? Let's listen in on this week's most recent phone call of differences.
Hello.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm hungry. How you?
I'm full.
Well,
and there goes again those
I
differences.
mean, we can't have one thing without the other.
Oh gosh, why are you so hungry? Why didn't you eat dinner? Well, not dinner.
What to
Lunch.
say? Um,
Lunch.
I didn't eat lunch because I was doing my daughter's hair, and you know how long that takes, or that can take. So, yeah, and I didn't take no break. So I'm currently eating a Pop Tart as a snack.
Ew. Well, I hope it's good to you.
I knew it. How did I know it? How did I know?
Jelly and crackers.
It is not, look, I'm not eating that type. Like I don't particularly care for the fruit flavored ones. I like the actual dessert ones. So,
It's still crackers and something sweet slathered on top.
I mean,
Crackers and chocolate syrup.
it's not chocolate. It's brown sugar cinnamon, the best one there is out there known to man. So, I said
Brown
what I
sugar and
said.
cinnamon. So,
Hmm.
what's the gooey part that's holding it together?
I guess the sugar.
Is it butter?
Mm-mm. That's the one snack I'm not even gonna dare look at the ingredients because that
Oh
would
my
just hurt my
gosh.
heart. That would hurt my heart to
Oh,
pieces.
you know I have to know now.
Well,
I didn't
trusty
even
old
know that.
Google,
Oh yeah. How do
because
you
it's
not want to know what's in it?
because I want to eat it without having the guilt or the oh my gosh, what is that? Like I just want to eat
Right.
it. That's
Like you
all I want to
should.
do.
You said brown sugar and who?
Brown
Cinnamon?
sugar cinnamon pop tart.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Look,
I
you and your
remember,
cousin did not know, and I'm like, this is like the best one.
no, let me tell you, that's how old I am. I remember when they came out. And I remember thinking to myself, jelly and crackers? No thanks. Oh my gosh, these are horrible. So then there's something on top too.
Icing.
It's like,
This is
oh
like a
gosh,
it's like a
no.
mukbang without it being a mukbang, and I'm trying not to chew so loud. I can't help it.
Oh no, you're fine because I'm looking it up now. So let's see here. 68 grams of carbs.
Mm-hmm. I'm about to be hungry.
Oh,
Like as soon as this is over, as soon as we're done talking,
yeah, this is
I'm gonna
causing
go grab
insulin
like a
spike.
handful of peanuts.
This is truly an insulin spiking
Hmm.
snack.
And the
Ah,
best way to eat these is with a cold glass of milk. But
okay. Soybean oil,
well, I mean,
gelatin,
well, that's in most stuff. So it's a preservative.
gelatin.
Yes, it's in most stuff, like especially your jams and jellies. So,
Yeah, I don't eat anything with gelatin in it, but okay.
well, I mean, then you don't eat jams and jellies.
I do, but they
Then,
don't have gelatin in them.
oh well, you must be
They
eating
use
that.
pectin.
Like
Okay.
close enough, same difference.
Well, I mean, gelatin has is made from
Yep, it
animals.
sure is.
Let's just leave it there. Animals.
Hmm.
Okay. Molasses, gelatin, and the high fructose corn syrup.
Well, that's in just about everything but water.
And corn syrup. It's like two different, and sugar. Oh my gosh. So sugar, corn syrup, and high fructose corn syrup.
I'm still gonna eat these. So
I'll pass. Okay, well enjoy that. I bet it's delicious.
it's just a whole lot of sugar right now.
Yeah, I'm seeing that, and 23% of your saturated fats for the day.
Well, I can't help that either.
Inter- and 58% of your added sugars for the day.
Thank goodness.
But guess what?
Hmm?
It has folates,
Because
niacin, and riboflavin.
it's what most, well, not most kids, but it's like a quick breakfast, so it has to have some kind of vitamins in it.
Yeah, I'm sure they put that just
Yeah, they
as
just
decorations.
yeah, they just add it in there like they do with cereal, and they add all those vitamins. I'm like, vitamins don't fill you up in the morning. Vitamins, yes,
Yeah.
are great and wonderful, but they don't fill you up. Like you add all the vitamins you want in cereal, but it's not feeling like you need something to sustain you,
Well, I mean,
not
you
just
still need
sugar and
vitamins.
water. Yeah, but most of the food that you eat, excuse me for smacking, but most of the food that you, because I did that. You hear them? Yeah, I mean, I was all in there. Sorry, but most of the food that you eat in the day has enough in there to sustain you, vitamin wise, where you don't have to have a multivitamin if you have a basic, you know, diet where there's no restrictions, no major restrictions. Because even
But
if you have a nut allergy, you get your protein from other things. If you have, I guess, irritable bowels and you cannot have, like for me, for example, a lot of green leafy foods, well, I still can get my iron from something else. I don't have to get it from the green leafy foods. So I'm just saying, like, if your diet has a variety and is not purely packed with sugar, you should be okay to where you don't necessarily need a multivitamin. Not saying you can't take it because I'm not a medical professional and do not take my advice as such. Just say it like dietitianary wise, like when you read up on it, it's like, yeah, you don't need it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
that's the point though. A lot of kids in America don't eat balanced diets.
Well, that's true. That's what the
They're
Flintstone
living
vitamins are
off of
for.
they're living off of chicken nuggets and French fries.
I couldn't say
So
anything
it's
on that, but I do know
nothing
someone who does
nutritious
that.
about that at all. So yeah, that's why they're doctors say take, and especially adults. If you think about it, a lot of us don't even eat balanced diets.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you can,
So
not if you will not to. Like I know a person that, oh my gosh, I don't even know how they're alive, honestly. I seriously don't. I don't. Their literal diet consists of caffeine and sugar, and they wonder why they're always on edge. I'm like, well, how many cups of this did you have? Did you even eat protein today? Any kind of any sort. Oh, well, I don't like the texture of, so you basically are a child and you want to eat like a child eats. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's your life. You do what you want. But that's literally, I mean, they eat nothing but fat. They like survive off of fast food, caffeine, and sugar.
yeah, no nutritional value.
None. None at all. But that's their life. They can do what they want. But
Of course, and their body too.
do what you want. Just don't be complaining later about the consequences of,
Yeah.
you want to live and you're laying in the hospital bed because you're a double amputee
No,
with
we're,
gangrene.
we're, we're chopping off our
I'm
extremities at
I'm
this
gonna
point.
go all the way to the extreme. I'm going all the way there. Like the way you eat now, you're gonna be a double amputee in the hospital with gangrene somewhere that you don't want to mention
Oh
on the
God.
internet.
Oh no.
Yep, I said it out loud.
Well,
But anyways, outside of that, I don't hate people. I'm just like, well, I've seen enough of it where it's like, okay, like you see those shows, what is it, the 600 pound life? And, they have to get one of those heavy duty beds for their patients or what have you, or they have to have special beds made because they are too big to like sit in a regular bed. And yeah. I'm like, I've seen that in real life, and it's like, oh my gosh. And granted, every life situation is different. At the same time, you standing in the room and you look the doctor or the nurse straight in the face and say, I'm going to do what I want. I don't care what you tell me. Then I'm like, oh, well, time to wash hands of this one and keep going. No point getting
I just
upset about that.
I just have one question for the people who are on those shows or in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much food you have to eat to maintain that body weight? Where are they getting the money from to pay for their grocery bill? Because I want some too.
Well, I do
Because
too.
I don't have that that grocery bill budget.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
That if even if you were just on a budget, like financial budget, you would lose weight.
excuse me.
Especially the way prices are going up right now.
I mean,
Because I'm around here bathing in
okay.
rice in it to try to stretch a dollar.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Because
okay.
my
You
kids over here
see,
eating loaves of bread now. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. We went from eating, and you send me one more chicken meme, I'm gonna like throw my phone. I'm so sick of those memes. Even your cousin has sent me a couple, and I'm like, quit. Like, I already know. And it irritates me even more so because now the pastor is literally on an egg diet. Like, what he wants in the morning, he wants scrambled eggs or an omelet. And I'm like, I said something else, but I was like, my dude, you cannot be eating eggs every morning. Like, they cost that because we get the 18, the 36 count, and that lasts us like a month. Okay, based on the cooking, the baking, even if we were to just eat eggs like 3 times a morning or whatever, we went through 36 eggs in like 2.5 weeks. And I'm like, dude, mm-mm,
oh my
mm-mm,
gosh.
mm-mm.
How much does 36 eggs cost?
17, like close to $17.
Oh my
That's a
gosh.
half a tank of my gas.
I mean, it's been, when I say months since I've had eggs, so I don't know how much they cost. But I
Mm,
remember the last time I bought eggs was probably back in March or April.
mm-hmm.
I like the brown organic Eggland's best.
Okay.
And back then they were like $5 a dozen.
Well, that's because of what you bought. But if you bought just the plain old
Right.
store bought, I mean, you could get 12 for $1.25 or $1.77 or something like that. Now it's like, oh, I sat there and stood there.
$17.
I looked at them eggs, I spent $7 on 18 eggs.
I was at 17.
No, 17 for 36.
Oh, you're saying you bought seven for eight. I mean,
I
yeah,
mean,
for
I
18
bought 18 for
for
seven. I'm
$7.
sorry.
Oh
For
my
$7 and some
gosh.
change. And
You out
I
here
look
making life decisions in for
I
the eggs.
was. I was sitting there looking at him going, you've got to be crazy. I said, boy, you're going to find you something else to eat for breakfast. We ain't doing bacon and eggs no more.
But
And
then,
that used to be
like
a 4 course meal though.
but
Man.
the shelves are so empty now with eggs too. It's like, did chicken stop laying?
No, you know what? I heard this on a late night show, so I don't know how true this is. Because I don't even care why. Because it's just like when milk was up high for no reason. Um, they said that there was a type of bird flu that was going
Oh, okay, okay.
around, and
Makes sense.
also what that and then your cousin said that it was the cold snap like up north. I said, oh, them chickens don't live up north. They can import chickens from somewhere else. And I know it costs a little bit more, but they could bargain a deal or something. Let's see. And I said, put some sweaters on them chickens and get the pluck, pluck, plucking.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I'm sick of this, man. I'm sick of the excuses. I'm about to start my own daggum farm. I
Oh,
can't because I
thank the
live in a
Lord I don't eat
subdivision.
eggs.
Ugh. You just wait till the price of beans go up. You be sitting over there cradling a can of beans.
And see, that's how I save money. Like I already buy like the dry beans because I can get
Oh
more.
my gosh. So you can get so many and just sit
Oh
there and have them.
yeah, yeah. I hoard dry beans and rice. That's what I do. But yeah, if they were ever to go up, I would be so upset.
My gosh.
But yeah, these eggs, like I'm sorry. And when I say I wish I could eat eggs, I mean it's not my choice right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I love a good avocado toast and a fried egg on top. But even if I could eat them with these prices, yeah, I just pass. I'm
Okay,
not.
that's.
I
I just said
can't.
I won't eat. Like this morning, I just didn't. I normally cook egg, not every morning. Like I said, probably about 3 times a week I cook eggs. Because a lot of times what I end up doing is making some kind of casserole or whatever, or pancakes or something. Something that's quick and easy, microwave. Give it to them, and we're done. And that only takes one egg to make pancakes. And then I got breakfast for a couple mornings with him with some sausage or whatever. But he's like, I want an omelet. And I'm like, dude, that's
Oh.
okay. And of course, he wants to help. But it's like, my dude, I can't, we can't. Okay.
So for
Like,
the record, you don't have to have eggs for pancakes, so that'll help.
can I use like, whatchamacallit, applesauce, or is it banana? What is it?
You don't have to put anything in there.
Oh,
Yeah, they'll still cook just fine.
would they be flat though?
That's a leavening agent that makes them rise, not eggs.
Mm.
So baking powder,
Oh, well, I use self
baking
rising,
soda.
so never mind. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah, it has baking powder already in it then.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what makes it rise. The egg is to, I guess, a binding agent. So if you wanted to, you could put flax seeds in there.
Well, I ain't putting dirt in there. That's just, why would you tell me to do that?
It's flax seeds, it's not dirt. And
It
it has
tastes
omega
like dirt.
3s. No, it
Nah.
doesn't.
Well, so does an egg. So does an
Hey, you can get a
egg.
whole bunch of. I have like almost 3 pounds of flax seeds for like $10.
Look, you can start
You
dishing that out.
you
Like
go get your little
on the
eggs.
corner.
Hey, got these flax seeds. You want some? I got these flax seeds for the low low.
Or, oh, there's another one you can use. You could use the was it the juice from the canned beans? Because I saw someone doing that to making like eggless
Oh, some
peanut butter eggs,
chickpeas.
peanut butter cookies.
No, because that sounds nasty.
Well, it
Now I've
was.
eaten black bean brownies, but
Well, that's disgusting.
I'm not eating bean eggs. Well, no, I take that back. The Just egg is made from mung beans, but
It
I
sure
can't. I've
is.
tried it many different ways and I can't stomach it. So I'm good. It's just one of those. I've just given up on eating eggs for a while. Maybe one day, but not right now.
Well, I'm about to boycott eggs until they find
Until
a.
those prices come down.
I mean, I'm like, y'all over there talking to what's the y'all got some Louis Vuitton chickens and
Bougie chickens.
yeah, some Supreme chickens. Like, what you
Oh
just got
God,
going on over there? Come on now.
this
But
is horrible.
then I had another joke about, not a joke, but I had a thought that made me laugh. I said, and this is gonna sound so bad.
Uh-oh.
This is gonna sound so bad. I said, if y'all had vaccinated them chickens, they probably wouldn't have had the bird flu.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Wah, wah,
It
wah.
made me laugh. It made me laugh to myself. I was like, that's how y'all caught it. I was like, whatever.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I was like, wait a minute. They're supposed to be free range birds and they're not supposed to have any antibiotics or anything in them. So I can't say anything about
Which,
that.
according to the commercials, they're not allowed to give them antibiotics anyway legally.
Mm, which I mean makes
According to
sense.
the commercials.
Yeah, no. But it
Who
makes
knows
sense
what they
not to give
have?
them anything that's not, what a chicken should have. But yeah, whatever. Unless you
Right.
have your own chickens and they're laying eggs and you're from your yard and you're feeding them, or you're letting them pluck worms out of the ground or whatever. I don't know what chickens eat. Even though I was raised on a farm, I don't know. I hated chickens.
And we all know I don't know. But I know someone who raises chickens and
Mm-hmm.
they're giving eggs away. Um, just to help out their neighbors. But
Mm-hmm.
he told me that he plants lavender,
Mm-hmm.
oregano, and something else. Three different herbs
Mm-hmm.
that he makes, like his chickens are free range, but he, puts them in strategic places around his yard where they can
Mm.
just go and eat them at will. and
Mm-hmm.
it keeps like disease down. The lavender keeps them calm, so they're not stressed and they're not passing stress hormones through their eggs. And when he got to the oregano, I said, "So you're just seasoning from the inside out? Is
That's
that
what
what you're
I was
doing?"
sitting here laughing about. I'm like, all right, so we got some calm seasoned eggs already. Thanks.
No, but oregano. I know oregano oil, which is obviously in the oregano. It does keep down like bacteria and stuff.
Mm,
They say that you should have some of that with you, like when you go into the hospital,
mm,
to prevent like staph infections, like those infections you would normally just catch in a
mm-hmm.
hospital. It'll prevent that.
Interesting.
So yeah,
Int-
that's what he does to keep, because he doesn't use antibiotics, but he just
right. But just
that's their vitamins,
interesting.
I guess.
Backed it out with me. You take your vitamins, eat you some
Eat your
oregano,
vitamins.
get you some.
Yeah, there you
But
go.
I think people, especially the plant parents, they have come to a lot of like, I want to say, an epiphany, I guess you would say. Because, like dandelion tea is making a huge comeback. And I'm like, man, like, I remember, okay, whatever. But things that poor country folks used to do now is a huge hype. It's a huge deal. And it's like you pretty much can eat anything green as long as it's not poisonous. And you got to know and make sure it's not poisonous before you eat it. But it's like, all these things that are coming back that people are like growing themselves are like, oh my gosh, they made us kill these things, or they're like, no, they're not good for you. And then they pump you full of artificial stuff. And then now you're going back to what it was originally before modern medicine, I guess you would say, has taken place. And it's like, yeah, even though no, they weren't living to be 100, they weren't living to be 80, 90. Like that was, ooh, you made it if you've gotten to like 80. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with some herbal homeopathic medicines. Like that's one of the first things that with my kids before I started them on like Tylenol, ibuprofen, um, antibiotics and all that stuff. Like that was one of the first things I did with each one of them as they were, babies, is try you on homeopathic first before we start dousing you full of chemicals. Cause I mean, it might just work. Like
Right.
turmeric is a very good anti-inflammatory medicine. Like I will drink, I don't like turmeric. I mean, that's good with food, but I don't like it as a tea. But I will drink some turmeric if my stomach flares up. Like if I'm having some irritable bowel symptoms or something, I'll drink a little bit of turmeric tea just to, you know, take the edge off. Like, yeah, you gotta take it more than, once every couple of hours, but it's like, okay, that or just constantly pumping my body full of medicine.
And avoiding things that are inflammatory, such as lots of sugar,
Hey, hey.
i.e., Pop Tarts.
Only Pop Tarts I had, and I don't know how long. Um, which speaking of Pop Tarts and food in general, I actually had savory grits this morning, so it
I bet they were delish.
was all right. It was good
Oh
for what
my
it was worth.
gosh.
Well, I mean, I had to have something to say. I couldn't have sugar grits with the plum jelly that my mom made, so it wouldn't have tasted right to have sugar on top of sugar. So I wanted savory
I
grits.
totally agree. Well, I found out from a friend yesterday, we were talking, and he shared that when he was growing up, to get him to eat rice, his parents would put sugar in the rice.
Hmm.
And I said, gross.
But he ate it.
What's the point though? Like, sugar rice?
Yeah, sugar rice is good.
No.
Sugar rice and cheese is even better. I don't know why that
Oh
works.
my
I
gosh.
don't know why that
No.
works, but that just
It doesn't.
works.
It really doesn't. So no need to rack your brain
it
about why, because it just doesn't.
does. It does. I don't understand why it works, but it does. Man, I don't know.
Sweet rice.
Hmm. That's good. I put
Mm.
it on my sugar, my kiss sugar. I put it on mine occasionally if I don't want just butter and salt. But my kids, I sprinkle just a little bit on there, help them take it on down, even though they can eat it without it, and they've proven over and over again that they can. So it's just a little treat to go with their broccoli and whatever else, or their grandma beans.
Mm.
Their grandmother, Mother Country. Mother Country Beans, basically. She when she had her garden and she had all types of, but they couldn't wait to have some of her green beans out of her garden.
Ooh,
Yeah. Now the pastor, he likes taking the bean part out of the green bean and eating that. He won't eat the whole thing.
he's making edamame.
Yeah. But yeah, they like those, so I'm just glad my kids can eat for the most part. I'm just happy that they do eat what they do have in front of them. I don't have to fight them that often. I do need to stop. And this kind of goes into our topic because I just thought of it. And it's a good segue. I do need to stop like conditioning them to finish their plate because that's how I was raised. Like, but that's because it was like
Oh,
we were
okay.
limited on food. So it was one of those things where you have to eat everything on your plate. We don't, yes, you're going to be another meal, but it may not be as much as you think it's going to be. So
But what if I don't want it?
you better eat it or you're going to bed hungry and you don't want to go to bed hungry. So you eat.
But I don't want
You,
it. So, I mean,
then you just go to bed hungry.
no, I'm saying if I've eaten and I'm finished, why force a kid to keep eating? That's what I'm saying.
I don't, I don't
Like I'm
know.
full, so or I'm satiated, so why make them keep eating? That's what I'm saying. They're not hungry. They just
I
don't
don't
want anymore.
know. I don't know. I can't tell you because I sat there and thought about it yesterday's when it hit me because what did I have yesterday? I had fried chicken and fries, and I had put too many fries on my plate, and I was like, oh, I put too much food on my plate. I can't finish it. And I looked at it and I said, why am I trying to force myself to finish eating? And I thought and
Yeah.
thought and thought, and I was like, okay, so maybe I don't want to be wasteful. Yeah, that's what it is. I don't want to be wasteful. Like I don't know
But you can just
why.
save it.
Well, one, I'm not eating reheated fries unless they're probably put in the air fryer. And even then, it's still kind of sketchy. Um, and then two, a lot of times I'm not going to come back and eat it. So it's whatever. But as a kid growing up, it was you don't be wasteful. You eat everything that's on your plate because, kids in Africa would want what you have and you just throwing it
Well,
away.
let's send it to them.
and and I just feel like that was a bad condition to have, even though like it wasn't that we weren't without food. There's only one time where I remember my mom going, oh my gosh, I don't know what we're gonna have for dinner. And it was one of those situations was like, oh, I guess we're not eating dinner tonight, because we didn't like it wasn't that we weren't gonna eat because there's just nothing to make. We just call order. No, it was like literally, I think we had like a bag of frozen squash and maybe some rice or something. Like I can't remember. It was something very
Oh
small.
no.
Now, don't get me wrong. It wasn't like, oh, we were poor, we couldn't do anything. It was just like it wasn't payday yet. So that's what happens. And you live paycheck to paycheck. That's just kind of how it was. And this wasn't farm life living. This was, you just got 3, 4 kids, and you know, WIC only covers so much, and your father's trying to work as much as possible, and he's already working to the bone, and as a black man, and all that other stuff, just a lot. And so yeah, I was just like that was such one situation where I ever witnessed. Oh, okay. And it was like, you're gonna eat this or you're not gonna eat. I said, well, I'm starving tonight because I'm not eating squash. Um, but yeah, you're just not wasteful. You eat what's been given to you and you eat it in its entirety. And as a mother's love, you want to make sure that they're full and they go to bed full fat bellies. Not because, oh, I don't know what you're going to eat the next day or I don't know when your next meal is going to be, but I want to make sure that you're full. Well, being conditioned to, oh, don't waste food, you're going to eat your food because sometimes you don't want to eat not because you're full, because you just don't want what's on your plate. So
Right.
you have to eat it. Because one, nutritional value, two, you don't waste food. But I realized that when I was sitting there eating, I was like, no, if I'm full, I'm full. Because Pastor likes to say a lot, I don't want to eat no more. I was like, boy, you just told me less than 30 minutes ago that you were starving and you just couldn't, you had tears in your eyes. You were starving. Or I starving. I'm like, all right. Or star friend. I'm star friend. He likes to, and I'm like, well, starving is your friend because that's what you love to do.
Oh
And I
God.
sit you down with a plate of food, and it's not a lot. It's enough for a child his size to eat. And I've seen him eat more than that. So, and actually, I undergive him because he will ask for more of like something else. And it's like, no, if you're still hungry, you can eat your vegetable or you can eat whatever. Um, and one of his things he does not eat is the protein. And I'm like, that's the reason why you're not full a lot for a longer period of time because you won't eat the protein. So I have to make sure when I'm telling him lovingly, hey, well, I'm not telling him lovingly, but as a mother, eat your food. I'm not trying to say, hey, clean your plate of every drop and crumb of food. Eat what you can. And then what you can't, just leave it there. You'll come back later. Or we'll put it up or what have. Now we've done that, but for the most part, I'm like, I feel like I'm conditioning my children to eat everything on their plate, regardless if they're full or not. Regardless if the hunger cues are gone, eat everything. If it's on there, eat it. And that's just not healthy.
Yeah, I agree. But the silver lining in this is you had an awakening or an epiphany, and you're vowing to do different.
I didn't say I'm
And I
vowing
think
to do
that's
different.
powerful. What do you say?
I said I'm not saying I'm vowing to do different, but
Are
I'm
you gonna keep making them eat even though they're not
no,
hungry?
I'm just not making a promise about it.
Oh, I
It's like
thought that was the whole point. Okay, never
I'm not gonna
mind
make
then.
a promise because I'm probably gonna do it again. Like in my mind, just because it's such a first reaction. Hey, eat your food. Um, because I know I have told the CEO several times, hey, if you're full, just stop eating. No, I'm not full. You sure? Because you look like your eyes is watering. You sure? Because it's like you about to pass out. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Okay. But if you're full, just stop. It'll, put it in a to-go box or put it in a container, put it in a refrigerator, and you can just eat the rest of it later. Um, but
So yeah,
yeah,
I was gonna say my goal was never not you don't eat to get full, you eat to not be hungry. Because if you eat to the point where your stomach is full, like tight, you
mm-hmm,
overeating.
mm-hmm, I can see that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think in America we eat too much. Just I'm just saying in general as a culture, like our portion sizes are extremely large compared to other cultures. Like I feel like we're out of control when it comes to the way we think about a lot of stuff when it comes to nutrition. Like even the ingredients we use are not healthy. Like the stuff we put in our food are like literally illegal in most European
Excuse me.
countries. Like high fructose corn syrup, they don't use that. They actually use sugar.
Mm-hmm.
But we use it because it's cheaper. But it doesn't drive our prices down at all. And we have a lot of health problems behind a lot of our ingredients. So then that fuels our healthcare crisis. Oh, it's
Look at that
spiraling.
rabbit trail, just
I mean,
going
that's why I
all the
just
way.
stopped because it will really, yeah, it really is. It sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it really is like, what's going on? It's just weird. But anyway, so never mind. I thought you were saying, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something different, but I misunderstood your
No, I'm gonna
stance. So
try
I
to do
apologize.
something. No, no, no. I'm gonna try, but I'm not gonna make like I'm standing here today on
A
this day at this
declaration.
time. I am not. No, because I'm probably gonna say it again, and I'm probably gonna do it again, and I'll probably be the one to do it. So it's whatever. But speaking on mother's love, which I need to look again. What did I send you? Because I don't forget. That's sad. I'm gonna tell you, I actually was half asleep when I thought of this topic. And
Oh my
um
Lord.
and then when I messaged you with
You said a mother's love,
it, a
our
mother's
experiences with our
love.
mom's love, and our effort to love our family.
Thank you.
That's what you told me.
Thank you. Because by the time this airs, it's gonna be not only um Black History Month, but it's also going to be the month of love for some people who celebrate Valentine's Day. Figure we try a mother's love, and I did have a little bit pull at my heartstrings yesterday. Have a little story to tell. It's not a horrible story, and I was just like, oh, okay, let's try it. Let's see where we go.
Ooh, do tell.
I've been talking a lot. How about you go?
Oh.
You don't have anything?
No, I can just piggyback off of the food situation. Like, I find it interesting that the way, which I think does kind of segue into how our mom's love impacts how we raise our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which anybody's upbringing impacts how they raise their children, unless they, they intentionally decide to do something differently, which people do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but one thing I would say when it comes to food and eating, like we have lots of eating struggles in my household with my kiddo. But some things I still do that my mom did for us, like she never made us finish, clean our plates. That was nothing she did. Um, but she would say, if you, let's just say it's a meal and you may have only eaten half of it, she would just say, leave your plate. And if you get hungry again, though, please don't think you're going to come back and then get something like a snack or something like totally different. No, you're just going to go back into this same plate and you're going to eat that again. So, she wasn't crazy by any means. Like she would, make sure you knew you weren't outsmarting her. Say, oh yeah, mom, I'm full. I'm full. I'm fine. I don't need anything else. Okay. And then an hour later, before bed, you're coming and say, I need some chips. No, if you're hungry, then eat your food. Now you have a choice to make at that point. Do you want to be hungry or do you want to eat what you want?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing that she did not do, but that I do find myself doing because of my child's situation, she would tell you in a heartbeat, I am not a short order cook. So she was not going to cook 3 different meals a night.
Mm-hmm.
She was going to cook what she cooked.
Mm-hmm.
And you can eat what you want. Like, you know what I mean? Like if she made, let's just say, chicken, beans, rice, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't eat meat with bones. I don't. I refuse to. Like,
Mm-hmm.
when I was eating meat. And so knowing that, like she would pull like some chicken, like the chicken breast off the bone and give it to me. But other than that, like she wasn't cooking something different. Like my mom was not a chicken nugget person. Like she actually made home cooked meals.
Mm-hmm.
So you ate what she, fixed. And if you didn't want the chicken or you didn't want the beans, then don't eat it. Just get the rice. But she wasn't cooking a lot of different stuff. Or if you wanted to make yourself a bowl of cereal, you could do that. But she wasn't cooking 3 different meals. And she would tell you, I'm not a short order cook. You think this is a restaurant? So I do find myself like today for lunch, I literally made a meal for myself. I made me some vegetable fried rice, and my child ate what he ate. And then my husband ate something totally different. And they were like, he had roasted sweet potatoes and green beans and rice. So we had rice the
Mm-hmm.
same, but I do find myself doing that. So I did not take that one from my mom, but I don't make my child finish food. But in his effort to always clean up when he was like 1 or 2 and he would learn to clean after himself, he knew to clean his table, like his face, put it in the trash, and then put his plate in the sink. Well, now if he gets something, he may take a few bites and like, I'm done. And I'll ask, well, where's that granola bar? Oh, it's in the trash. I threw it away. I cleaned up. No, those
Mm-hmm.
granola bars are organic. I got like seriously, I got 4 granola bars for $5, and you
Mm-mm.
threw them away. So
Mm-mm.
now I'm having to say, hey, when you finish, let me know so I can just check your food. And I'll tell him, hey, just stick that on the table. I'll put it in a Ziploc bag and put it away. But now my child has this thing where he doesn't like leftovers.
Sounds like somebody that raised him not to
I
have
know I'm a
leftovers.
leftover. Let me tell you something. When I cook, I make enough. We're gonna eat at least 3 times off of this. So normally what I do is whatever I cook, we can eat
Mm-hmm.
it today and tomorrow. And then the third portion that's left, I put it into individual containers and put it in the freezer. And I just stock my freezer with freezer meals. On
Mm-hmm.
the off day where I don't feel like cooking, we can still go grab something that's homemade.
Mm.
So that's how I kind of, like I said, keep some meals ready. But I don't know where the no like leftovers thing. And it's not like it's real food, it's chips. If he has a bag of chips and he eats half of it,
Mm-hmm.
if I said I'm gonna fold that bag up, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in his snack cabinet because he has his own snack cabinet, And when he wants chips again, I'm gonna say, go get that open bag of chips.
No.
I don't want it because it was open.
Oh, well, guess you
You
ain't get no
opened it.
chips.
Right. That's my point. Either you're gonna get it or you're not. So it's like some stuff I noticed that I did, I do to my child that was done to me, but
Hmm.
it's things that I felt like were okay. Like I feel like it's okay to say you don't have to finish your food.
Right.
And I would go over my aunt's house. We would stay over her house a lot growing up, because my cousins were kind of close to our ages, my brother and my age. Um, and she wouldn't let her kids get up from the table until they finished their food. And I remember distinctly one time we went over there and she was frying some chicken. I guess she cooked it too fast because it was like burnt on the outside, but the blood was kind of still in the inside.
Ooh.
And I remember my brother, I was like maybe 9 or so. And so he was like maybe 6 or 7. Anyway, I
Hmm.
remember him sitting at the table crying. He was like, I don't want to eat it. I said, well, then don't. And he said, well, she said we couldn't get up from the table until we finished our plate. I said, then when we sit here. I said, our mom will come back and pick us up. I said, she's coming back in a little bit anyway. So we'll just sit here until she gets here. But we're not eating that. If we don't want it, we're not eating it. And
Hmm.
my mom, the way she raised us kind of empowered me to be able to say that.
Mm.
So that's something I know I've passed down to my child. We just have to work on, don't throw away your food, son. Throw away the wrapper, but we don't throw away the food. Like, good, clean up behind yourself. That's good, good, good. But let's not
Yeah.
throw away. Let's not throw away food, please. So
Yeah.
that was my share when it came to that.
Hmm. So you did you and your mom. So that's a thanks. Appreciate it. So we didn't have to come back to it and like, well, what about your mom? Um,
Yeah.
let's see. For me, my story is very recent. Like I said, it touched my heartstrings. My kids, well, even your cousin, which this doesn't say much because he's, my husband. So, and note to our audience, he is not actually blood cousins to City. Okay. He's just, they were raised
But
in
I
the same
still
city,
call
like the
him my
same.
cousin.
And we just call him that because, like, they're really so much alike. Like, they could literally be cousins. So,
And lots of black people have play cousins, so it's okay.
exactly. There you go. That's
And
it.
aunties and uncles and everybody else.
Hmm.
So
And
we have large extended families that have
right,
no blood relation.
right. And yeah, and mind you, she's only met him like once. So,
He's still my cousin.
but okay, so he says a lot, it's just something about my touch that calms him. And it's true. There have been stressful
Oh,
situations where I've had to grab the CFO by like the arm or something and just like rub his, because I can see it in his eyes. Like he's just like a wild animal trying to protect his cubs, and they're going crazy. And I'm like, just calm down. Like, woo, 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 woo. And he calms, like he literally, it's like a magic trick. It calms him down. But I'm the only one in the family that is like, well, no, the pastor's a little bit like it too. Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Don't
oh,
breathe my ear. Get off of me. Like
oh wow.
that is my thing.
Not my pastor.
Your pastor, he sometimes he's like that, but yesterday he wasn't, which was it melted my heart a little bit. So we had a couple of errands to do yesterday, as a family. And as I was getting the pastor dressed, he was like, he gives me a hug. He's, diaperless, but he still has on like the top part of his pajamas, I think, because he's actually wearing actual pajamas. Um, but was getting ready to put his underwear on. He's like, Mommy, I love you. I was like, I love you too. And he gives me a hug and he's like, and he likes to squeeze as hard as he can to give you a hug, which is
Oh,
it is the nicest hug in the world because it's like, those are them grandmama squeeze hugs when, they squeeze you real hard and you're like, oh, I could just melt and sit right here. And he squeezed me. He's like, I love this. And I was like, well, I love hugging you too. And he's like, and he gives me a kiss and he gets down. He's like, one more. And, it was just and of course, then it became a
oh.
game. And I was like, all right, look, we got to get dressed. We got to go. Got stuff to do today. And, but of course, then he got naked. And he's like, I can't hug you. I'm naked. And I was
That
like,
is true, son. That is very true.
I was like,
Don't
yeah.
hug anyone when you're naked, even when you're 45. We don't hug people when we're naked.
Why
That's
did
the rule of thumb for life.
why
We
did
don't
we go
hug.
from toddler to 45?
That's some rules in life don't expire. They just we don't hug people when you're naked. That's a life lesson.
And I just kind of chuckled when he said that because I was just like, son, as many times as I've had to hug you naked. But okay,
Yeah.
anyways, I'll let you have that one. Um, and then after I got his shirt on, then he could hug me. Even though he still didn't have on underwear, it was fine. He had on a shirt. I was like,
No
okay.
shoes, no shirt, no service. But
But
you
the
don't have to
shirt,
wear pants.
but you just, yeah. So got all that on. He gave me like, I don't know how many hugs he gave. And I was just like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, all right, I'm touched out. No more touches. But then here comes the CEO. And she is in a very loving mood too. And her thing is she calls them touchies. And she just wants
Okay.
me to touch her. That's it. It doesn't have to be much. My hand could just lay on her. That's fine as long as I'm touching her. And it's every weekend basically. It's a whole thing. And it's not like, okay, so like today I did her hair. That doesn't count. I was touching her, but it doesn't count. I have to be caressing her face, rubbing her back. And she melts if I take my hand and put it down her shirt and rub her back. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that
She's
does
like,
feel good. My mom used to do that.
oh my, she's like, oh yeah, this is great. I'm like, not in public. This is
That's
not okay
eyes
in
rolling in the
public.
back of your head. Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Like you might as well be tapping your foot on the ground like a dog. Like, what's
No,
wrong
like
with you?
like Thumper on Bambi.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Feel good.
So she was really into that yesterday, and it was kind of getting on my nerves, but at the same time, I'm like, it's not that big a deal. So what she does is she'll pick up my hand and she'll rest it on her shoulder, and that's her cue for me to like rub her cheek. So I'll rub her cheek. And I don't mind doing it if I'm just like at the time I was talking to like a salesperson. So I was like, fine, I can just do this absent-mindedly. It's no big deal. But then we get in the car to leave and she's pouting. I'm like, what is wrong with you? I want touchies. I said, we're in the car. I'm in the front seat. What do you want me to do? She's like, and she's not, she's almost not in her booster seat. She's sitting so far forward because she's trying to get closer to me because she wants me to contort my body to turn around so that I can touch her. I'm like, I'm not doing that. You sit back in your seat and I will touch you when we get to a place where I can. This child, she pouts and flops, and her face is just, and I was like, what's wrong with you? I don't understand this.
She wants her touchies, and you're not giving them
And I
to her.
wasn't giving them to her. And but I think before we even left to go to our first stop, your cousin was like, yeah, you do give some pretty amazing hugs, though. I'm not even like, even for someone who doesn't want to be touched, you give some pretty amazing hugs. And I don't blame the kids for not wanting a hug or to get touched. I'm just saying. And I'm like, and I look at all of them like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, what is seriously wrong with y'all? I don't get it. But that's all coming from the person that's like, yeah, I'm good. Y'all can sit in the same room, but we don't have to be all hip to hip. We're fine. But no, all day it was a whole entire thing where everybody had to get some kind of energy draw from me, whether it was a hug, whether it was, and I was like, okay, a mother's love. Like, it's nothing like a mother's touch. It's just nothing like it. So, yeah.
I totally agree. I call them snuggles. I used to get snuggles from my mommy all the time until my kids showed up.
Then you got kicked to the curb.
Yeah, even though I made her sign. No, I'm just joking. I made her take an. I made her take an oath. When I was pregnant, I was like, "Look, do my snuggles stop when this kid gets here?" And she was like, "No, you're my baby. That'll never happen." Yeah, right.
This is grandparents' first lie.
I got right. I got cut off, man. And she like to this day, I'm like, ever since he showed up, and I'm like, he's a he at that point, the other person in the relationship, like you cheating on me. Ever since he showed up, I haven't been getting my snuggles. And then she'll be like, oh, you know, anytime you want mom to give you some snuggles, I'll give them to you. I'm like, when? Because when he's around, you too busy giving him attention. I don't get no attention, nothing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
cut off.
I
So,
actually fight. Uh, I'll fight. So my mom's oldest grandchild is not my. Even though I'm the oldest, it doesn't go in that order. My little sister had the oldest grandchild, and I will fight her. I will fight her. I'm not kidding. Like I will knock out, drag out, fight her. She gets too close to my mama. Like, and if I'm around, like I'm like, yep, we're gonna go off. I'm the firstborn, so I will, I'll
that's
take
my
you out.
mama.
That's my mama, and I do the same thing about my grandma too. Even though I know I ain't gonna say she's the favorite. She lives closer to them, so she has more relationship with them. But that's like I was first, and I will fight you. She's like, well, I'm the first grandchild. Nobody cares. Okay,
That means,
nobody.
like, okay, in the grand scheme of things, that means you're number five.
Yeah, like you're not even
When
important.
it comes to birth order, like, you were really an afterthought. You were a whole other generation of an afterthought.
Exactly. Like nobody cares. So my grandmother is of course her great grandmother. And I'm like, I don't care if you were the first great grandchild. I don't. You can get taken out quicker than I can. So
Oh
don't make
God.
me try it. They're like, I will like we fight. We fight. We be looking at each other like we love each other, but we still be fighting. So it's like me and
Oh
my
my
niece,
gosh.
we be like, she's like, oh, that's why you ugly. I was like, well, that's why and I can't say what I would say, but
Oh God.
but I'm just
That's
saying, like,
funny.
yeah, we just do. Because I mean, and of course, my mother, as loving and caring as she is, she's like, why are you fighting with a child? And then the saying happens where it's say, I fight kids, and then
Oh gosh.
this
You need a
whole thing.
t-shirt.
Look, you hush, you and your cousin need to stop that. Okay.
You need a shirt. I fight kids.
No, I don't. Now trying to put me in jail. That's what y'all are trying to do.
Oh, that's what you should have in the front. I fight kids, and then on the back when you're walking away, like, try me.
See, what your cousin said was, I fight. I think this is what he said. I fight kids, and then the back it says, and parents too. And I was
Oh
like,
gosh.
y'all are trying to get me jumped at the next field trip. That's what y'all trying to do. What y'all
Sorry.
trying to do. Side story to that. CEO actually told a child that at school because she thought she was being bullied because she was calling her a name. But we think what she was trying to do was like egg them on to play with her. And she said she turned around and she looked the girl in the face. She's like, my mama fight kids. And then she turned around, the girl ran away. I was like, look, the last thing I
That's right.
need is these.
That's right. Run up
No.
and get knocked back.
Okay, look, and then this is what I told your cousin. I said, watch what happens. I'm gonna be at one of these little goofy field trips, and somebody gonna be like, "Hey, that's the CEO mama right there," and I'm gonna get knocked out in the back of my head, and I won't even be able to fight back.
That's right. Keep your head on a swivel. Keep your back to the wall.
Like, I mean, y'all gonna get. I said, and here's the other thing. I went to I think she's told some of her classmates this before because I went to their Christmas party and I didn't even greet the CEO when I came in. Like I waved at her at a distance because, the teacher was, controlling her classroom. So I wasn't trying to interfere. And I just went to a table that she wasn't at because I didn't want to be a distraction. And I go to help another table. And one of the boys asked, he's like, is you the CEO's mama? I was like, yeah. And he said it whispering. I was like, yeah. He's
You
like,
fight kids.
he didn't ask that. He just said, oh, okay. And he went back to doing what he was doing. And I was like, why'd you ask that? And then the other kids looked just like, you the CEO's mama? I said, yeah. Like, oh, okay. And they just went to where I said, do I scare you? Like, what is wrong with you? I figured she'd already told him, like, don't do that. Cause see, now I'm gonna have the police at my door.
Legend has it that you fight kids.
Oh my gosh, it's the whole thing. But anyways, on to my mother's love. Um, what did she pass on to me? I want to say the creativity part of her, where she could create literally anything from trash for us to use or us to, like games. Oh, she was so good at creating like games for us. Um, Helping us use our imagination to just come up with some crazy goofy games. Or if we did create games, she add little tidbits in there, like, oh, well, if you do this, you do that, and I can't think of one specifically that she would have, kind of thrown at us. um but her helping us like learn how to play and be kids is something that I know I pass on to my kids now. So when they're doing something or they're playing with something, I'll throw, well, it'd be pretty cool if you could do this, or it'd be pretty awesome if you could do that, or have you ever thought of doing this? And their eyes will light up like, oh my gosh. And I was like, yep, I remember that feeling when my mom would just throw out little whatever ideas of, something she sees and just take off, and we take off and we start doing it or what have you, or we try, playing baseball or badminton, what have you, and it's like, interesting. Interesting how much, her love and compassion to us, even though there was four of us, and I still to this day, even with my two, wonder how she stayed sane with four. I'm like, yeah,
No, that's right. I don't get it either. Shout out
well,
to Mother Country.
I'm telling, she had four. Her mama only did two, and then her mama did 17 in total.
I'm trying to
13.
figure out after one, where did the other ones come from? Like, did they come from heaven? Did the stork bring them? Because you ain't got no energy
What it
to be manufacturing additional children.
Well, when you're in the country, you ain't got nothing else to do for entertainment. I guess you.
Oh, well, I'd just rather be bored. Just because entertainment is bringing another mouth.
Well, that mouth also turned into someone who could work the land. So there you go. You got
Aha.
that
Talk to
too.
yourself while you work in this land.
Because I think 13 of her 17 made it to adulthood. So
Whoa.
yeah, imagine all those mouths that, helped feed a cow or, slaughter a pig or chicken or whatever. So yeah. But yeah, the mother's love is just something, it's different.
Yeah,
It's just a
I
whole,
totally agree.
yeah, you don't know unless you have kids. It's not, it's literally another person. I've had animals. I don't consider them my children. Now some people do, that's perfectly fine. But it's something different to see this individual and know that you're putting into them for something that they can do later in life.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's just different. It's just different type of love. And after, of course, after having kids and then talking to your mom after you have kids is a whole nother thing, because it's either I told you so, or been there, done that, or oh, now you know what I'm talking about. It's like, okay, one, you had to cuss me out. Two, all right, I heard you the first time.
I mean,
you
told
know,
you so was about to get.
like, geez. Um, and then of course you
Point
hear some of
taken.
their fears that you don't hear growing up. You hear it as an adult. Like one of my examples is going to college. My mom was like, she was so afraid of me going to college. And I'm like, why? She's like, from the time I went as a freshman to even when I was working and I was living at home and driving like a county over. And I was a county over going to work. And then I had to drive a county up to go to school. So I'm like, two counties away from her. And she's like, I just couldn't take it. And I'm like, I was a full-fledged adult, you know, like I was paying my own bills. I was going to school. She's like, I just couldn't take it. And it's like, how much fear? She's like, she's like, I can't take it now with you being as far as you went. I'm like, I'm just 30 minutes away. Like, what?
But with where you lived, that's the other thing. Like with where you live, she knew you would have to leave to do everything, to go grocery shopping, to go to school. Like there were no colleges. Like if my mom had that same fear, I think that would be warranted because of where we live. There's so many colleges and universities to choose from
Mm-hmm.
that are not as far away, for
Right.
us as it would be for you. But literally, you have to take a 30-minute plus drive to do anything, to go to the doctor,
Mm-hmm. Well,
to
not
go, like I said,
now. Not
grocery
now,
shop.
but
No, I'm saying
then,
then.
yeah. Then, yeah.
Right. So why? I don't know why it would make her nervous if she knew
Because she's
that was
just,
just a part of where you live. Like you have to leave to go do
yeah.
stuff.
But it drove her just to hear her say that. I think it was been a couple weeks ago on the phone with her, just to hear her say she just couldn't take it. I was like, I was like 24, 25, and I was like, and she's like, yeah, at one point you want them to get out the house, but at the same time she's like, no, but I want you here out the house though. Like I want to know that, I can still see your car or I can still see you, and I'm like, uh no.
Here out the house. So she wanted you to live on family land.
Yeah, she wants us out there real bad. She wants us out.
All
But
right, even now.
even now, yes, even now. And I told her you really don't, because you'll never have a moment's peace. Because these grandchildren that you have here will never leave you alone. like, like they will
Well, that might
be.
be what she wants.
She does and doesn't until they get there. Then she's like, all right, y'all got to go home. And they'll be like, well, home is just 2 minutes away, so we can take a bath here and then go home and go to sleep. Like they would do that. Like they would finagle away, so they would never be home but to sleep. I know
That's a win-win for everybody.
it. It really could
And you
be.
still get to claim more your taxes.
I didn't think of that.
Winning.
They didn't think of that. But no, I like the comforts as a country chick. I like the comforts of the city as far as everything being close by and not having to drive 15 minutes to get to the interstate. That's, another thing. Yes, I can still hear the interstate, and yes, it's a blemish to sitting outside and, not having the country air and the quiet and all that. But when I have to go somewhere, hospital, doctor's appointments or whatever, it's only 15, 20 minutes, it's only 5 minutes. It's not, takes me 10 minutes just to get to the main road to get me to where I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine that.
So, but yeah, hearing those kind of things is different. But I feel like we all grew up to be pretty good mothers in a sense. I mean,
Well, that's awesome.
our kids are breathing, they're alive, they're doing well.
They're good people.
Mine are decent people. Mine are pretty
No,
decent.
they're awesome people.
They're all right sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Look, I understand. I was actually telling my siblings this morning. I understand why my dad didn't wake up and say good morning or morning. He just woke up and said, "Shut up,"
Oh my gosh.
because
No.
we were so loud. It was one of those mornings this morning. I woke up, I was like, "If you don't shut up,"
Oh my gosh.
and they were like, "Huh?" And I was like, "I done told y'all several times. We're sleeping. Be quiet. I'm playing in the other room, but y'all keep coming through here screaming and hollering."
I
I was
don't know why. That's my
hmm,
favorite. Like, well, I'm a morning person anyway, but I
same.
love to see my kiddo, and I'm that person to him. When I see him, I
Mm.
say, good morning. And he's looking at me like, oh, where's
See,
my coffee? He has this look like,
see,
where's my coffee? I'm not gonna open my eye. Like he's walking with his eyes closed. Like I just need some coffee.
I understand, Deacon. I understand.
And I'm
I
like, are you
understand.
gonna give me a huggy? Are you gonna say good morning? Morning, mom. I'm like, did you just pull a shift? Did you just get off work from the plant? From the
Nah,
coal
there you
mine or
go.
something?
That's what I'm saying. Cause I'm
Was
not a
that a
morning
heavy
person.
sigh?
Mm,
Morning, mom. Oh,
hmm
wow. Okay.
See, and my kids, well, the CEO's in between. She has to be a morning person because of school, but she's normally not so much. She's more of a I want to cuddle until I really wake up. The pastor, on the other hand, he's like, all right, party in the bed. And, and it's like, someone sling him outside. I mean, he wakes up prepared and ready to go.
I
Like,
love it.
and it's like, see, we can just swap kids. It'll be all
I
right.
love it. Yeah. Because,
Really just,
the start of a new day. Let's hit the ground running.
And he literally hits the ground running.
There you go. Now I'm not actually doing it. It's more so in my mind. I'm running.
He
I'm
gets up.
running mentally.
I mean, he's shaking the entire, like his little bitty body, his little 30-pound body is shaking the entire bed while he's trying to get up out of the blankets if he's sleeping with us. And
I got to
just
go.
you can hear
I gotta
his
get up.
heels hitting the concrete underneath the everything that's on top of the slab. And it's like, really? Why do you have to wake up so noisy?
A
So yeah.
bull in a china shop, baby. I got to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with it.
See, you can have him. And I'll
Okay.
take yours. Because he will not eat
You'll
me out of
save.
house at home.
He'll drink you out of house at home though.
Well, see, you still have to
'Cause
supply those. I'm
you
not
gotta
doing
buy the.
that.
Oh,
I'm not
no, no,
buying
no,
that
no, no,
mess.
no. When we swap, we swap.
Nah, you still got to
Bills
supply
and
those.
all. Send
'Cause
past over here. Yeah, we'll be fine.
look, you will be look. You will realize he ain't eating nothing organic. If it's the only thing he gonna eat organic is whatever's crawling on the ground if he can catch it.
Oh gosh.
There have been times he's picked up. He's like, now he's not gonna eat a fly. He's not gonna eat most bugs. I showed him a worm the other day because I had to adjust some of the what do you call them, pavers. And he saw a worm. He's like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I was like, well, at least I know you won't eat it. I
Oh
remember
my gosh.
he saw a garden snake, and yeah, I think
Where?
it was in our backyard, but it was right after it rained. It
Oh
rained real
no.
heavy that summer day or something like that. I can't remember. And I went to go dump the water out because I know, hey, it's summer. They like to chill out in the water and stuff like that. So I was like, let me dump everything that's got water out and plus mosquitoes. So I did that, and as I was dumping out, because they had an inflatable pool, and I had dumped it, and I saw the snake, and I was like, ugh, garden snake. And I mean, it was really small. It was the size of a worm, honestly. And I go back in, and he comes out. This is when he was still in diapers all the time, and he sees it, and he's like, "Ooh, a worm!" I said, "Don't touch it." He was literally
Oh gosh.
inches away from grabbing because all I could think of, he's gonna try to slurp that thing like a noodle, and it's not gonna go well.
Oh my gosh. Did you kill it?
No, it had gone away by the time I came back because I was trying to find a spade, and because the kids were using, I think, one of mine for something. I can't remember what they were thinking, and I was trying to find it, and I couldn't find it because that's what I was gonna do is chop its head off. And
Okay, what is a spade? Because all I'm thinking
uh,
about is some playing cards.
the little shovel, the little shovel, the little
Those
hand
are only
shovel, hand
spades I know
trowels,
about.
little hand trowel things. I probably said it
Oh, I
wrong.
got you.
I
I
probably
got you.
said it
No, I just
wrong.
don't, I'm not an outdoorsy kind of person.
No, I
So,
probably did say it wrong. I said spade, and it's probably not even what it is. Who knows? Anyways, hand
okay,
trowel.
well, yeah, we'll just keep the pastor inside
That
until
ain't
we
gonna
can make
work.
sure he knows we're not if it's outside, we're not gonna eat it unless it's on a plate
I
that
think
we
he knows.
provide. We put it on the plate. Not that
Like,
it crawled on the plate.
crawl.
Cause
No, I think he's at it. He's good now, where he knows. Okay, if it's food we eat, but if it's just because it looks like food doesn't mean you eat it.
you want to leave that one in nature so that the other animals can have that. Yeah, bring
Now
my pastor over. We might save some money with him.
you will. Your water bill will be safe too because he'll pee outside, so you'll have that too.
Oh my gosh.
You have to worry about him flushing the toilet often because
Oh,
and just so you know, you want to keep the house cool, you keep the house cool until he comes in, so you can keep him outside because he'll stay outside
oh gosh.
till it gets too cold. Then he wants to come inside. So you have to turn the
This
heater.
would be very interesting. You know how they had that show Wife Swap?
Mm-hmm.
We should do Kid Swap.
Oh my gosh, it'll be so bad. Your kid will come.
Yeah.
Your kid will come back high on sugar.
I want to stay over here, Mom.
And granted, I don't give my kids a lot of sweets. Like seriously, on the weekend is the only time they ever get candy. I do not give them candy throughout the week. unless they're out of school, and then I'm kind of sparingly on what they can and cannot have, especially after dinner. But you got to go to sleep. Um, and the most sugar that they do get, besides on their rice, if they have rice, and that's literally a sprinkle, it's not enough for them to really taste, is whatever they're eating that's prepackaged. So the granola bars, which is supposed to be organic or natural, is supposed to be, but I mean, it's got honey in it. Their fruit bars, the Pop Tarts, of course, and their cereal, their juice at lunch, and then dinner, it's not anything added sugar. So yeah, I try to, because, as a mother's love, I try to make sure they don't have that addictive mindset, having those nodes fire off every time they lick a sucker, you know.
Yeah,
So
but my kid would love your house because I never buy candy.
I
The
don't.
only time he has it is if Dad will buy some and sneaks
Mhm.
it to him. And the other day, this morning, I heard him say, "Dad, I can't wait until Halloween." He said, "Why?" He said, "Because at Halloween, the pumpkin man comes out and we get candy."
The pumpkin man. Who is the great pumpkin? The
No,
pumpkin man.
there's this
The
the
pumpkin.
guy across the street from us, he's a carpenter and he builds things and he literally
Mhm.
has built this like does it the headless horseman,
Mhm.
except the guy has a pumpkin like in his armpit. Like he's just holding the pumpkin.
Oh, okay.
And so it's this but it's like taller than his house. It's gigantic.
Wow.
And so that's the body. I think he made it out of like PVC pipe, and then he put like a cape over it, like so it's black fabric where it looks like it's just like
Mhm.
robe blowing in the wind. And then the
Right.
big giant pumpkin head is in his arms. And so he
Mhm.
calls it the pumpkin man. The pumpkin man comes out, we get candy. And then he said, "You know what happens at Christmas? Peppermint." I just heard, I didn't say anything. I said, "Oh wow, you're the only 4-year-old who's excited about peppermint."
Okay, because that is the candy nobody wants.
Right. Until you get like at least 35 years old and you need fresh breath. That's when you start getting
It's
excited about
the
peppermint.
peppermint, exactly. Other than that, you ain't looking at no peppermint.
Like
No.
I remember sitting in church, speaking of mothers and church mothers, and you're like, "Oh my mouth, I'm so hungry because we've been in church for too long." You
Hmm.
got some candy, and here they come with peppermint and butterscotch. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'll
And
just be hungry."
the strawberry candy that don't nobody ever
Oh
know where it came
gosh,
from.
oh nobody knew, nobody knew, and I did not want it, so I would just go and just get the peppermint. This,
Mm-mm.
I mean, butterscotch is that candy unless there was no more sustenance on the earth. Like
Oh,
Brussels sprouts, okay, I'll eat those before I eat butterscotch. Like there's nothing you can name other than like probably chitlins that I would eat before I eat butterscotch.
root beer is used to be my favorite flavor sucker.
What?
Yes, I don't know why, but I like. I
I
can't
don't know
drink.
why
I can't drink
either.
root beer, but I used to like that. I wanted that, and I wanted the butterscotch one. I like
That's up
them.
there with those banana Laffy Taffies.
Well, I couldn't eat those. Those are nasty.
Nobody wanted banana Laffy Taffies. That's the same thing as the oh gosh, and the black licorice jelly beans.
Ugh, I don't like
Nobody
jelly beans
wanted
anyway.
those.
Mm,
Oh, Jelly
mm-mm.
Belly? Oh my gosh. Now I don't like candy, but if somebody has like some Jelly Belly, I'll just want to taste the peach. I'll just get one
Mm,
peach because it's nostalgic, but I can't eat a lot of candy. But Jelly
mm-mm.
Belly was fun because you can mix and match the flavors. Like get a lemon and a strawberry and put them together. Strawberry lemonade.
All right.
That
Okay
was fun
then.
as a kid, but I'm not a candy person. Anyway, yeah. The moral of the story is the deacon would love to come to your house because you have Pop Tarts and you know the juice. The juice I give him don't be really juicing. It's just like
No, it's
water with a hint of fruit flavor.
mm-hmm. It sure
So
is.
he'll be excited. He'll never want to come home.
See.
Meanwhile, the pastor, he'll be calling, "Mommy, pick me up.
Yes.
This food is horrible."
Oh my gosh, because he literally lives out of the pantry at this point in time in his life. It's very
Hey,
hard.
survived. That's
Yeah,
okay.
I hate it. My moral of the story is, well, you've touched on everything. I can't even go back to the beginning because you
I'm
even
sorry.
took it.
I'm sorry. Okay, I got one. I have one. I have one.
Okay, go
One
for
mom
it.
moral of the story. We didn't say this, but when we're talking about a mother's love, we
Mhm.
also have to celebrate as moms loving ourselves.
That's a good one.
I feel like that's a good moral of the story. We didn't talk about it, but as we
Mhm.
love on our children, as we love on others, even our own moms, let's not forget to love on ourselves.
Yeah, that's a
Because
good
if we're
one.
not taking care of ourselves, then we can't be the best moms we want to be for our children.
Correct.
Ha ha, I did it.
You did all of them. I have nothing. I'm good.
Whoop, whoop.
Because look, basically that sugar high's gone, and I'm ready for some
Oh,
dinner
she's
now.
crashing.
I'm crashing.
Next time, get you some organic. No, there's no such thing as an
It's
organic
like
Pop
organic
Tart.
toaster strudels or something.
They make toaster strudels with egg in them. They might be cheaper than real
Oh,
eggs.
oh my gosh. No, thank you. Yeah, there's the moral of the story. Get you your own chicken.
Get
I
a
got
chicken,
one there.
and when it stops popping out eggs, you can just have your chicken
There you
leg and a
go. There
wing, a
you, yeah.
two-piece and a biscuit.
I mean, there you go. You already got it. Then if you want to grind up the bones, you got gelatin. There you go. I said it. I did it. We did it. It's done.
Oh my. All
Oh
right
my
then.
gosh, it was good talking to you.
You too. Until next time.
Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, did you enjoy that podcast? So did we. Check us out for our most recent updates on IG at City Country Chicks Podcast.